What is up, you beautiful engineers, and welcome to episode 8. In the last episode, we built the Giga elevator, and I did an extra episode showcasing the problem with the elevator. It is now fixed, and I'll get into what I've done to it. But if you're not interested into hearing about the solution, here is a before and after. You can at least, see the difference, and feel free to skip to the main project for this week. Otherwise, stick with me and I will explain all the changes. Enjoy. Alright, so let's take a look at what I've done to fix the issue with the elevator. First of all, you guys left a bunch of really good comments from torque to inertia to velocity to how to accelerate to even like a T flip-flop for the timer blocks, which is really smart, and I should have done it, but it was kind of too late when that comment came in, but I will definitely keep it in mind for the next time. Alright, so let's look at the new sequence here. So before it was straight from the get-go, we're going 3 velocity. Now we're starting with the 0.5, and then after 2 seconds, we're going to 1, and then towards the end, we're going back to 0.5. Yeah, and it works pretty good. Now, the other thing that I've done is inertia, okay? And let's go take a look down there. I also did this hallway here. All right, so the inertia is on the second set of rotors, so this set here. It does have a little bit more of a swing, but it is smoother overall. So I'm gonna keep it on. Now, because we are slower, I was able to play with the timing with the bridges. So now we're starting moving before the bridge is all the way retracted. And same thing once we reach the top. There we go, we're slowing down. Bridge are extracting. And it's almost a perfect timing. It's really good. The rover barely moved. The trailer does move, but because there's no friction. Now, the other thing that I've done is I lowered the whole guard platform above the bridge by 1 block. So now it is kind of the same block as the blast door. So the ramp is a little bit smoother as we're going up. It also allowed me to add some lights on top of it. I also received a couple comments about safety, like adding some guard or some rail. And to be honest, the ARCIS company, I'm not too worried about safety, but I did this thing here. I wanted you guys' opinion on it. Okay, so there's some lettering on it. It is pretty dark, it's kind of hard to see. The weather doesn't really help, but I'm not too sure of the design, right? And I would have this turn on once we enter for the first time the platform, right? So it is off, we're driving on it, it turns on. If we drive off, it turns off. Or once we do the full cycle, it then turns off at the end, and it only turns back on once we get on the platform again. Yeah, so that's my idea, but I don't know, I'm not too sure about the design. So let me know if you guys have any idea, or if you think it looks good. There's a few things that I still need to do. I need to rename everything, and I'm about to start a new project without renaming all those parts, which is a mistake. You should always name your thing as you go, specifically like lights. But I don't really feel like doing it, so I'm gonna skip that. The other thing that I need to do is I need to make a new custom sound. The ride went from 15 seconds to a good 45. So yeah, so I need to make a new custom sound. Alright, so I'll wait for the storm to pass, and then we'll get into the main project of the day. Alright, okay, so let's get started here. Cinematic mode. Alright, so this week's project, and when I say this week, I'm in town for 2.5 days. So I'm rushing this thing out so I can upload it on Sunday. This week project is a control tower, which seems to be the most logical step, because as we're building more and more project down here, it would be fun to have some master control in one room. And it, you know, it makes sense to have a control tower also. We're also gonna have medical floor in like a server room, so a room with more timer blocks and programmable blocks, that sort of stuff. So I'm looking at this corner here for the tower. I don't really have a design in mind, but I do know how it should feel. That's a good start, right? A tower should feel tall, should be dominant, should stick out from the rest. You know, it should be obvious that it is a control tower. I think we all know what it's supposed to look like in an airport, so we're going for the same type of vibe, like a lot of windows at the top. We may even use an antenna on the roof, or maybe on the back there. We'll see. And yeah, so I'm just gonna queue up a time lapse, try to get things going, see how it goes, and then I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I have a pretty good base I'm happy with. I had to upgrade it so I can see more clearly, but now I can expand on the idea. We do have kind of 2 layers of slope here, 3 if you count this one, and I like it. It's a pretty big size room, but the proportions are right, I think, for the size of the headquarters. This is definitely a good size, and we'll expand a little bit more on top, so it's going to be a little bit taller than this. And I think from here, we're gonna have mini control panel all the way around. I also have kind of a subfloor here. I raised it a little bit above the window, so we can see a little bit further along the edge. It's quite nice. I also do plan on using a small grid for the control panel, so we can have some control panel all the way along. And yeah, the small grid is just, I love the small grid button and the small LCD. I think we're gonna have a lot more freedom when it comes to control panel. We're not gonna be stuck with this panel right there with 4 buttons. And I think with the subfloor, we can have a hinge going to small grid from below and just bring an arm at the front here. We may have to change those for just panel instead of half block or slope maybe. I'll see. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, guys, I need a break. I need to work on something else. But before that, let's take a look at what I've done. So I'm still working out the shape here. Yeah, I'm not into detail. I've done a little bit. I also done a little bit of colors just to help me see the design a little bit more. I do like to build with my darkest color. And what the reason for that is, I mean, when it comes down to painting, I find it's a lot easier to start with your darkest level of contrast, and then you build your way up to your highlights, so to your brightest color. So you want to build in layers, which makes it really hard to build. But the other thing is, if you're able to give it enough shape and clearly see the shape when it's at this darkest, right, that means you probably have enough shape. But you know, I could build it in a lighter color and just mass paint it after. It's a thing. But I've been building this way forever, so I'm gonna keep it that way. In regards of the build itself, like the use and whatnot, I'm not gonna go too much in detail because I'm still working on it, and I'll probably do a full tour at the end. When it comes to design, okay, I don't think we have enough slope from this angle, right? The only slope we have is the roof and the beams. It's very square, and I guess the back there, I guess, yeah. But from this angle, we do have a lot of slope. So yeah, so I have to bring more slope in the other angle. The top here, the antenna, I do love this sci-fi look design. I'm just not sold on this pointy part up here, like this whole top section. And also I do think the antenna, the dish, look kind of small. So I may try to make it bigger with paneling, or I may try to, I'm probably gonna do both actually. Make this top section here, this pillar, skinnier. Yeah, other than that, I'm pretty happy so far with the shape. So quickly, I guess we have a background entrance on this level, which is pretty nice. Also got some balcony access, which is something that I wanted. Quick access in and out of the control room. And down here on this level, we'll have the medical room. Again, quick access in and out with jetpack. We're gonna have a landing pad here. All right, so I've done a little bit of work up here, just try to catch a vibe. And we're definitely gonna hit like a cleaner look up here than what I'm used to or what I've done so far. And I found a new texture for the flooring. This is new to me. Usually I always mostly use concrete. I'm not a big fan of having to use the same wall texture as a floor. You know, it is fine for interior inside of a ship maybe, but when it comes to like planetary structure, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think we have enough skin or structure. Like we have the concrete and we have the wood flooring, which, you know, wood flooring for my style is a bit troll. And of course you have like decorative block. You can find a lot of cool looking floor texture with that. Straight up skin, I don't think we have enough, but I found this one. This is the wellless armor, and it almost looks like a Polish concrete, like an interior concrete slab. And I love it. It's a little bit too clean, not really. It's perfectly clean enough for what I'm trying to achieve here. We'll see what I can do with this, but so far I like it. We got a little bit of a shine going on, you know, so a little bit of like a wet concrete. Like it. All right, so I want to start planning a little bit the control panel, and my idea here is to have some hinges down here. So let's maybe look at the elevator here. Maybe it would make sense to have the control for it on this angle here, where we can clearly see it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. All right, let's maybe place this back. I need a small head here. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with a hinge and then rotor on the hinge. I could have the hinge right here, actually. Let's remove this top part. Add small head. Let's weld it up. It's not gonna be super clean, but I don't really care, to be honest. We could go with something like that. And then a rotor on top of here. This would be 45. Then from here, let's maybe go with some beams. Why not? All right, so maybe we want to beam block end here, and then we'll have a hinge. Small one.
Energy critical.
Yes, dear. All right, and then from here, something like that, and then we want to go with a thinner profile. Maybe something like that. Now, how many buttons do we want for the elevator? Because we could also have like some bridge control. We could also activate the coil, or we can just have an up and down control. All right, let's try to find a good angle here. Is it too high? We could bring it down to 45 degree. 45 seems to be a good height. Some terminal access maybe could be also nice. Okay, so let's think about this. Okay, so we want to have up, down, maybe. Want to see something here with the holographic LCD. You cannot flip an image. What I'm thinking maybe is if we have one like that and one like that, right? 2 LCD. Okay, let me go get that. They're kind of far apart, right? Because I was thinking we could have one that shows like an arrow up and the other one that shows an arrow down, and we can see the status of the elevator. But they don't really like stack up. No way. No way there's small grid console block. I honestly didn't know about that. No way. They look so cool. Oh. Wow. Okay. I'm kind of lost here. Okay, maybe we want to have bridge control and just motion and bridge control for top and bottom layer, right? So we're gonna have bridge control bottom. We can tell the elevator to go down. Okay, I think that's a better design. So we'll have, okay, so we'll have bridge bottom, elevator go down, elevator go up, bridge up, label down here, and then we can have the elevator status up here. Or we need to label this panel 100%. This could be interesting. As a center block, right? I may have to remake the whole thing just to have this LCD right up here. This spot. What about those here? Those are modded. I'm not into mods like I thought I would be at first. 45 slope. Hmm. Interesting. Ooh. That's also an interesting concept here. To have like a almost like a tabletop. Hmm. Which don't need to be LCD, could also be like a normal block. Could we use like, yeah, something like that here? Ooh, like that. I think this would look the best to label the actual thing. Let's do a test here. 180. And then center. Yeah, something like that. I wish you could copy settings from one LCD to the other. No way you can use an image in the background with text over it? This is new to me. Huh. Wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right. Now the question is, do we want to have a light status pointing like, you know, if it's up or down or close or open? Yeah, it would be a lot of event controller or timer blocks just to get that extra feature that I could clearly see from up here if they're closed or open, right? Let's bridge top. Reverse. Beautiful. All right, now I just want to look at I think for the control panel, it would just make sense to have a different skin, right? Something cleaner. I'm not saying this is it. It is called clean. That's a little bit too much. Plastic. Ooh, I think this is it. I think plastic is the skin of choice here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe not red though. Or just a red top and have the bottom. Ooh. Or a stripe in the middle. Nah, we don't want the stripe. That's gonna be way too many stripe. But we have the bottom. Oh my god, that's annoying. Okay, let's weld this up. All right, let's go up. Oh, this is so cool. I gotta say that the gradient down there, the orange, looks beautiful from up here. That's a really nice gradient. Even like the bottom there, the black one. If you haven't noticed, okay, there's some stripe, some lighter gray stripe there. Those lighter stripe are supposed to be like the mark of these beams there. There's 4 beams underneath. Yeah, so you're supposed to, like, you know, the beam kind of scrape the floor. So that's why we have those marking down there. You know, there's some sense of logic there. All right. Maybe having a light status for up and down. This would be some really cool indicator lights. But anyway, all right. All right, I think I'm happy with this one. So what I may do actually is to make a few more down the line here so we can see a little bit what it would look like to have multiple of those. Of course, we're gonna have multiple design depending on you know, how many buttons do we need. But for a corner one, And I do want to leave some space, right, where we can go up to the edge and see down there. Yeah, because I was thinking maybe like, you know, I could just have one hinge and just make one block expand all the way around here and just, you know, make a mega console. But I think that's gonna be better. I do want to have the edge kind of breathing a little bit more. Right, it's like having one of those right on the edge here, like that. You wouldn't see anything, right? So that's why I want this place to breathe. Look at this thing. I'm not sure if I like it anymore. I thought it was, oh yeah, it is better. But I think the tower is like one block too high. Or two. No, just one block. It's one block too high. But that's me being too picky. I have to rework the tower itself, so I'm gonna wait if I'm gonna do any change. But so yeah, so I reworked the tower, skinnier base. I added also, you know, a bunch of unwelded panel and scaffolding on the base. Pretty cool. I also added this little thing here with a green light, and we have some red light too, kind of rotating patterns going around the dish. That's pretty nice. I also modified the shape of the side panel here a little bit. I shaved the end of the pointy panel, but I still don't like it. I think I need to get rid of that upper slope and just, you know, follow the slope that I have everywhere else. The two slope just doesn't really fit. But if I do that, I need to work on the top here because I may have to remove this little antenna looking thing to make it work. It's not there yet, but you know, I'm gonna make it work somehow. But most of the work that I've done is in the inside. I'm pretty excited to show you guys this because it's pretty damn cool. We're getting somewhere. All right, so I guess let's go in order of what I've done. So you guys saw the time lapse of me building the console. So we have multiple different design, and I guess, you know, you can modify them for the project itself. All the hinges, that's how it looks from below. Cool. And then up here, I filled the whole floor with console, desk, and we have in the middle, we have the Mighty Drill Blueprint Showcase. This is where everything started. That's how we dig the massive hole that we are in right now. So that is totally fitting. Best blueprint I could put there. And then we have the CEO desk. Pretty cool. I also extended the ceiling patterns here from a 3x3 to a 3x6. So we know we are covering the whole middle floor here. And lastly, which is pretty cool, and there's so much more I could do with this, and you know, I'm getting to it, but you know, right now it is almost midnight. It's 11:45. Yeah, so I have a small grid hook here from a hinge, and that goes all the way around with truss, and those truss are just so perfect for exactly doing that. And then we have some hanging LCD here in angle, which is pretty nice. Now I may add another mod to add some sci-fi image to put on those LCD. I would also like to change the LCD on all the console, you know, make it more interesting. But you know, it is fine. It is fine. And if we decide to use script for storage, or you know, or inventory or power, that sort of things, we have this wall of LCD too, which could be useful to, you know, get information. I just don't know yet what I'm gonna do about script and storage and that sort of things. But even like seeing ship that are connected to the base could be nice too, to see a bunch of information, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so anyway, right now it is like I said, what's it here? It is 11:45 Saturday night. I need to edit the video for tomorrow. I need to prep because I'm leaving again for a week. I'm leaving every week all the way up to Christmas. I'm fully booked. All right, this is going to be a wrap. So it is pretty rare that I don't finish a project or almost finish it in one episode, right? If we look at the elevator in the last episode was like 98% done. The outpost was built in one episode. This one we're like maybe 40%. So if you have any ideas, suggestion, cool functionality, it is not too late to add it up. So please give me some inspiration, give me some ideas. But other than that, have a great week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.